if a lawyer, an international lawyer, is listening to this podcast, I want to suggest something to them in all sincerity. And I'm looking perhaps for people like Nitzana Darshan Leitner, a good friend of mine and a good fighter, a good Jew and a good fighter for Israel. That the minute that floating pier is established, we should tell the people of Gaza, if you want to get out, go to the pier and tell the Americans to take you out of this hell. Now, if the Americans refuse, they will be in clear violation of international humanitarian law, as much as the Egyptians are now, because it is illegal. It is illegal, according to international law, to refuse asylum to people fleeing a war zone. It's an open and shut case. Now, they will claim, we don't want to depopulate Gaza and give Israel a shot at annexation. It doesn't matter what their excuses are. According to them, the law is the law. Fine. So I'm in favor of papering Gaza from one end to the other with fake exit papers saying this allows one person to, if they reach the pier, to demand that the United States take them off to a country of safety. This pier, everybody is afraid of what it may mean, that it's a camel's nose in the tent, that it's a beginning of American occupation of the area, much like, how the Romans were invaded in here so many centuries ago, because two Hasmonean princes couldn't decide on who would be the successor king. No. It's a great risk on the part of the Americans that somebody will say the emperor has no clothes. Now, the report that I heard in the press this week, that it was Bibi Netanyahu, that suggested this sea-based resupply effort, didn't shock me because it's something that he would do. Bibi cannot think about consequences. Everything is about the moment. And for him, this shut the Americans up. It gave them something to focus on. And if Bibi did suggest this, and I have no reason to doubt that he did, this is just one more item that can be used as an indictment subsequently for his removal from office. You don't invite the enemy in. And the Biden administration is an enemy of the Jewish people and the state of Israel. You don't invite them in at all. You tell them, you want to bring that temporary pier in? There's one condition. Yeah, you can bring humanitarian supplies in, but you take off every Palestinian that wants to leave. Every one of them. And if you were going to do that, you can bring in as much humanitarian aid as you want. Do we have a government with that kind of backbone? No, we have an army that's holding the warriors back, allowing Hamas to prepare for their entry. And you have the high command running around as if their hair is on fire and they're putting it out with a frying pan, trying to figure out how to get humanitarian aid to people who just a few months ago were quelling over the dismemberment of Jewish babies in our Gaza envelope communities. Why do we care? When the war first started, Israel Katz, who was then the Minister of Energy, came out with a good statement. Not liter of water, no fuel, no electricity, nothing until our hostages are back. And what happened? He didn't do it. Bibi, Gantz, Eisenkot, and Gallant started the retrograde movement of our war effort. That's what happened. We never should have allowed 1 kilogram of food into Gaza until our hostages were released. So if they say that Bibi and the government is betraying the hostages, I say yes, they are. by not conditioning the provision of aid to the release of our hostages and maybe even the bodies of the murdered hostages.
On the other hand, it was recently reported, this is a natural segue to the very unusual story that was reported just a few days ago, that so-called, and I don't know if they're in fact orphans or not, I have no idea, but children from Gaza, I'm assuming that they are all from Hamas associated families in Gaza,
Yep.
which is true of a huge percentage of the populace there. I mean,
Correct.
after all, Hamas was voted democratically into power. It should be pointed.
Can I say one thing? With a higher percentage of support than Hitler got from the Germans when he was elected.
But you're not allowed to say that.
I'm sorry, I take it back.
That would be painting the negative light. We're not allowed to.
I apologize. I apologize to the Nazis for comparing them invidiously to Hamas.
We're talking about if I may
Yes.
remind you,